Hey anglers, Creaky Tiki here, talking assist hooks for bluefin tuna jigs, split rings, and split ring pliers. The jigs we're using to deep drop for bluefin at night were originally designed to catch much smaller fish. And for that reason, a lot of them came stocked from the factory with a relatively lightweight hook with lightweight braid on that hook. Well, that was fine for catching those smaller fish. When it comes to our West Coast bluefin, sometimes not so good. On a trip early last year, an angler had one of those older jigs with those thin factory hooks. First drop, he hooked a really nice bluefin, and as you can see, didn't take that bluefin too long to straighten out that lightweight hook and just swim away. There are aftermarket assist hooks available, and if your jig happens to have one of these lightweight hooks with a lightweight braid, please change it out. As a comparison here, look at the difference in thickness and strength in those two hooks. Look at the difference in the braid. Now these assist hooks are a bit pricey, but well worth it if you hook into one of these big fish. When you're changing out your assist hooks, make sure you get the ones you want. If you need the one with the pre-attached ring to go in a split ring, get the ones with the ring on. If you're on a solid ring, you can go ahead and get the hooks without the ring on it. Those will just go through a solid ring if you have a solid ring like on a swivel. And you just pull a loop over the hook and the swivel, and it goes on, boom, like that. Must have if you have those thin hooks on that lure. Now those hooks are usually on with a split ring. And as we talked in another video, split rings come in different thicknesses and different strengths. Again, a lot of those factory split rings are the thinner ones and don't hold up as well as the thicker ones. Angler I was with on a trip hooked a really nice bluefin at night, ended up getting it, but when it came to the boat, this is what his split ring looked like. He came very, very close to losing a 170-pound bluefin because that split ring was starting to straighten out. Luckily, it held up just enough for him to land that fish. There's all kinds of manufacturers of heavy-duty split rings, but please check and make sure you have heavy enough rings. Creaky himself isn't immune from it. I was fishing my slow pitch rod with some medium-sized jigs. I'd caught a couple on that silver lure on the bottom there. I lost a fish and I thought, shoot, the hook must have pulled or I must have got chewed off. Nope, I'd actually straightened out the ring on that medium-sized jig. So I went back and changed out my other jigs of that type to a heavier split ring. Make sure you use a heavy split ring if you are fishing for those bluefin tuna. Now, when it comes to split ring pliers, there's a variety of types. And if you're working with these heavy-duty rings, you need a heavy-duty pliers to open them and use them. The little tiny pliers just aren't going to cut it. So I generally carry two different pliers. I'll carry a small pliers for the small rings and a bigger pliers for the bigger rings. The smaller rings are just too hard to use with the big pliers, and the big rings are almost impossible to use with the small pliers. There's many different brands, many different types. They're all really pretty good. I've got an assortment of them here. I'll kind of show you and we can talk about them. So there's an assortment of split ring pliers, some of them stainless steel, some of them plated metal, all of them good. I'm kind of partial for one of the first ones I got, which is the Shimano's. The Shimano's come in two sizes, the small and the large. I always know what I've got. But there are some other great ones out there. This is a Mustad, that's stainless steel. Here's another bigger one. I'm not sure the brand, that's stainless steel. So there's a small and a large and stainless steel. There's plated ones. This one's got the curve on it that makes it easier to see what you're doing. And there's a couple that do things completely differently. This is the Spro, S-P-R-O split ring plier. And instead of having that little single jaw to grab the split ring, it actually grabs it a little bit differently. You just put the ring in the jaw like that, and when you squeeze it, it opens it up nice and wide. Works very well. Let me get where you can see it. Okay, it just grabs the split ring a little differently than those other pliers. There's also the Toit pliers, made down under, I believe. It's got a very different looking job, but it works similarly to that Spro pliers. You just take that pliers like that, and it opens it up. It's a very strong plier, works very, very well. You can use it either way. Depending on which room you have, you can put that clip on either side, but it really opens them up easily. Those heavy split rings, no problem for a good split ring plier. Accurate makes a very nice fishing pliers, and you have your choice on the jaws. You can get the split ring tip on that Accurate pliers. Now I have that on my Accurate, and I've used them several times. It works pretty good. Not the best for the giant split rings, but in a pinch, if you need one real quick, it's sometimes nice to have that little split ring tip on the end. Also good for getting a good hold in that hook and pulling it out of the fish. So, check your rings. Make sure your rings are heavy duty. If they're not, get a 9, 10, or 11 size ring. And the extra heavy duty, make sure you got a pliers that'll easily handle that ring. And check your assist hooks. If you have any thin assist hooks with that thin braid, change them out to a heavy duty assist. Save yourself all the grief of a lost fish, a prime fish that you'd really love to see on the deck. That's it for now. Till later, this is Creaky out. Much aloha.